Things we wish Jesus hadn't said. My name is David Madison, 16 August 2019, and this is episode 16 in a series of flash podcasts on that topic. Mark Twain said that the best cure for Christianity is reading the Bible, so let's take a close look and see why Mark Twain was absolutely correct. At the trial of Jesus in Mark chapter 14, we read these verses 61-62. Again the high priest asked him, "Are you the Messiah, the Son of the Blessed One?" Jesus said, "I am. And you will see the Son of Man," namely himself, "seated at the right hand of power and coming with the clouds of heaven." Okay, Christians, let that sink in. At his trial, Jesus promised those present, his audience that day, that they would see him sitting next to God and coming on the clouds of heaven. So this was going to happen soon. We compare this with the text in Matthew 24:34. "Truly I tell you this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened." But Mark 14:62 is the verse that should jolt Christians to attention. Jesus promised those at his trial that they would see him coming on the clouds of heaven. I want to make a few quick points about this. First of all, Jesus was just plain wrong, period, about a major thing. Why don't Christians today wonder what's going on and head for the exit? Second, but in fact it was Mark who was wrong. He invented this Jesus script. He wrote some 40 years after the death of Jesus. He had to invent it because the disciples of Jesus were not there to take notes. They had all abandoned Jesus. If someone had been taking notes, how would Mark have accessed them? By the time he wrote, Jerusalem had been destroyed by the Roman army. Third, so Jesus, as Mark portrayed him, was wrong, and the Apostle Paul was devoted as well to this wrong idea. He promised one of his congregations that they, including Paul himself and their dead relatives who had become Christians, would rise through the air to meet Jesus in the clouds. I'm not making this up. Read 1 Thessalonians chapter 4. This is cult goofiness, displayed by the ancient Jesus mystery cult. Fourth point, how in the world can some Christians still be waiting for Jesus to come on the clouds? The New Testament texts show the clear conviction that it was about to happen way back then. The New Testament got it wrong, spectacularly wrong. Fifth and finally, Mark portrayed Jesus as obsessed with the kingdom of God that was about to arrive. All earthly rulers and kingdoms would be overthrown. Jesus would be in charge. Hence the conclusion of some New Testament scholars that Jesus is best understood as an apocalyptic prophet. So we have to reinforce the fact that Jesus, as depicted by Mark, was wrong. For more than 1,500 years, lay people did not have access to reading the Bible. So the church got away with ignoring Mark 14:26, modifying it, pretending it meant something else, adding layers of theology to make it look okay. And the church seems to get away with that even today. But it's still right there, and when Christians stumble across this verse, they should be shocked. We sure hope Jesus really didn't say that. And they should give up on this ancient author, Mark, and maybe find a religion that isn't quite so silly.